Two.
And I show the IP. These people exist. Yada yada yada.
Boom. Abel and Kevin, Bobby, fat guys.
Like I
Here we
said
go.
in the cuts you'll probably not see, I decided to do the speech on something I cared about, so it would actually be good, which is video games, and basically how some companies basically just don't even care about video games; they just want your money, and how we need to be able to like recognize that and stop that. Because it's a good platform. Video games give us a reason to escape our lives or experiencing something new we can't see or like experience in our regular day. So like first, probably one of the most obvious companies that do it is EA. EA is known for it. The microtransactions are their bread and butter. And what basically a microtransaction is, the game is either free or it's really cheap, and you can play for free with friends online. But then there are like loot boxes or expansions or something. It's only 99 cents or it's only $10 for an expansion, but it'll help you in the game. Therefore, you're paying for power in the game, so you get an unfair advantage. If you pay to win in a game, there's no point in playing it. Now, I understand microtransactions that are cosmetic. It's only meant to make your in-game character look a certain way just so it's cool, you have something to show off. That's cool. It generates revenue for the game so they can keep making good games. But EA takes it to a whole nother level with just the loot boxes and the DLCs, and it's just facetious and it's just uncalled for. And they know that they do it, and there's so many people who have called them out for it at this point that they've actually just had to take down one of their games and shut down their studios. So that's EA, and we have to be able to look at not just EA doing that, but other companies doing that as well. We can't just be like, oh, it's only ever EA who does microtransactions. It's not people like Rockstar, whoever makes Call of Duty, Activision, stuff like that. But people do it. Like, there are going to be people in those companies, as much as we like them, that are going to want to do that too. Then we have someone that I have a personal qualm with, Sony Entertainment. Oh, PlayStation. And I know that some people here play PlayStations, but I cannot get over the fact that they just don't seem to listen to their fans. When it comes to the fact that when people wanted to cross-play in games like Fortnite and other stuff like that, PlayStation was basically just like, no. And the reason they gave an excuse actually in, I believe it was called, what was it called, like Welkin's Technical. The president of Sony said, our servers are so superior that the only good gaming experience would be on a PlayStation. So basically saying that they were so good that other people didn't have the privilege to play with them. Like, you were making fun of other people's fan bases and stuff like that. Those could be potential customers. That's not even good for your own business. So that's just a company thinking they're above people. And it's not just with crossplay, because they eventually let that in, because the people were aware that the company has to listen to them if it wants to be successful, and they finally allowed crossplay. Then there was mod support in games like Skyrim and Fallout 4. PlayStation 4 refused to open up their code to mods, and I believe they still do. And they're probably better than it was in the original when the games first came out. Bethesda, the maker of the games I mentioned earlier, negotiated for months to try to get it so the fans that were on PlayStation could have the same things as the fans that were on Xbox to be equal, so that people could enjoy the game on any platform. And PlayStation refused to do it. At that point, you're hurting your own business, because it makes it look like there are more reasons to go to one console than the other. But they wanted to be exclusive, and they wanted to be proprietary so that no one else could do things they had, because they wanted more money. And then, it's not just big game companies that do it either. There's a game studio called Hello Games. Not a lot of people know them, but they became very popular for a certain game called No Man's Sky. They hyped it up as if they were some, big major game studio making a AAA title about this expansive game with this expansive universe. It's scaled to like the universe or a solar system. It's online, but you'll never run into somebody because it's so big. you know, in these huge space battles, and then on launch day that you could see the facade crumble. People ran into each other immediately. The environments, once you looked at enough things, it was basically just a repeat of everything, just the planet turned a different color. It became mining for resources, fly to a different planet, mine more resources. It was nothing that was promised, and it's not all their fault. I feel like a lot of people expected that they were some big game company. I think it was a team of 15 people who made this game. Not a team of like 200 who are on like Bethesda's payroll or Activision, Rockstar, something like that. But that doesn't change the fact that the false advertising to try to build hype for their game to sell so many copies was not wrong. Because they have been sued for false advertising because they know, and they actually were forced to make changes to their game to live up to them. But it's only when people like us actually like make the companies do something. We have to be aware. We have to hold them accountable. We can't just trust them to do the right things because that's not how people work, sadly. But I just wanted to let everyone know that I think that if we work together as a community and we work with the people who are trying to improve things, that we can get it better, and I wanted to persuade you to do that. Thank you.